Hey, there was a really important live stream that I filmed on Thursday. I called it To Child Neglect. The focus is to have a unified message that when we say recast T'Challa, we're not talking about that kid that they introduced at the end of Wakanda Forever. We're talking about T'Challa. I would like if you watched all 2.5 hours, but let's be realistic, time is of the essence. So I compiled highlights of that live stream into about 16 minutes, and you can watch here. Thank you to Mark with the C, Buckmeister, Cool, Caliber, and Rogue Comics for contributing to this week's DreMax show was there as well. In spirit, in form, video form, you can expect more of these important live streams to continue. And if you have something to add, you can use the hashtag RecastT'Challa and you'll be part of the show. Creating a new kid and saying, hey, look, enjoy this. His name is also T'Challa, so you can is not the solution. Child neglect is wrong. Child neglect is necessary. Mark with the C.
He was just getting started, and the phenomenon was palpable. I witnessed it with my own little boy. Can we go to Toys R Us and get a Black Panther action figure? And I was like, yes, son, yes, we can. Immediately, I said, this is not any way to honor this man. And for people to accept it is what really blew my mind. I don't expect anyone else to understand more than us, but the part that really got me, that blew my mind, is that we hung our heads down and cried too. And we somehow fool ourselves into thinking that this is what an honorable man like Chadwick Boseman would want. This is how you honor Chadwick Boseman. You kill what he spent the last years of his life trying to bring forward.
You know about Mark, there's a new character also named T'Challa. What about that kid?
And that's another
What's another thing
problem
people are just accepting? I know.
What's wrong with giving us an ideal? Superman is an ideal. Truth, justice, in the American way. James Bond, they'll never let that go. He's on His Majesty's Secret Service. Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. They know what these characters stand for. That's why they'll never let them go.
Batman, the pinnacle of human perfection. Like, they're not going to take Damian and take Talia al Ghul and Bruce Wayne and have them get shot in an alley.
We will never have Gotham forever. We'll never do, and if we ever do get focused on Damian, it won't come at the expense of another Batman. It's that time of the show, friends. Let's hear from the Ally of the Week.
The MCU needs a new T'Challa, a new Tony Stark, new X-Men, and we shouldn't have to wait until 2030 to get them.
That's straight up a great, agreeable statement. It's just the crazy thing is there was a video of him
not
saying,
so long ago.
I recall going, oh, damn, he got it wrong. But hey, Eric, good to have you on.
But now what I need from Voss is I need a 20-minute video dedicated to why T'Challa must return. Because you made a very long video about how we need to mourn the character and all of that stuff. So, Voss,
people don't remember that. No, but let me be real with you, Buckmeister. Look, the comment section feedback dictates what a studio would do, as well as a YouTube channel. If enough people in there were like, oh, wait a minute, what's the big idea here? Because you were not for the recast and you were talking about how digitally recreating Chadwick was wrong. If you can get new rock stars to talk about it, he will. If that becomes loud enough, that's what happens. There's 22 people watching live stream today. This is the first time I'm doing this. It'll be a staple of Thursday evenings or Friday mornings where you are right now. You guys can expect this to build and grow and to be louder and to be, oh, this thing didn't go away, even though that movie came out 433 days ago. They're still talking about the recast. Must be really important. Oh, they don't accept the T'Child. They neglect the T'Child. Why not? Why don't they have anything? Okay, let's hear what they got to say about it. And then they can turn on a video of me and I can tell them that is a dead end character. Whether he ages, gets a whole trilogy of movies, what we put into this character will be vanished just like that. It's not an everlasting. It's not a Superman, Batman, or Hulk. It's not over and over again. It's a new character. The relationship with he and Nakia was made up in the movies anyways. No comic book lore to go off of. This is like new territory. Nah, bring that boy's dad back.
When you look at the music industry and you see the images, that never takes a break. It's like people say, oh, Black Panther will be back. Just give it some time. We don't give it any time.
It's dangerous. Waiting is dangerous. Yeah.
Every other day, every other minute is another song talking about, this and that. I do this, I do that. You know what I mean? Like negative stuff. We never take a break from that. But when it comes to positivity, that's few and far between. You got to fight for that. And people don't ask why.
But I mean,
What's that about?
1.3 billion. Black Panther 1 made more money than a Captain America solo film. Captain America
And Iron Man.
It just goes to
and
show.
Iron Man and the Hulk, the Thor, their solo film, his solo film made Avengers money by himself.
Mm.
And it's a T'Challa movie. I don't want to hear anybody talking about it's a Killmonger, it's a Okoye, it's a T'Challa movie. He's the main character, he moves the plot along. It's a
And the
T'Challa movie.
supporting roles, the supporting roles supported, which is important to have.
That's-
Let's not
yes.
forget though what they are supporting, and part of their goal, their initiative, is to have a lead character of that status be what it became, exceeding expectations, my own expectations.
There was a time when Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura from the original Star Trek series, wanted to quit because she was more of a stage actress. Then that evening, she went to an NAACP banquet and she saw Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And she said that, look, I'm sorry that I can't come out and march with you guys. And he said, no, we don't need you to march. We just need you to be the ideal, like what I was talking about before. Be the example for people to see. That is so important. And she's like, well, I just told Gene Roddenberry that I quit. And he's like, no. He's like, no. You can't quit. You can't quit. There are so many people who are seeing what you're doing. He said, your Star Trek is the only show that I let my daughters watch, Coretta and I. You know, we let our daughters watch Star Trek just to see you. That's how important it is for people to have that dream, that vision to shoot for. What do you think Martin Luther King Jr. would think about them taking T'Challa away from us, from our children? King T'Challa, what do you think he would think? Like, just honestly, do you think he would be like, well, we've got to honor Chadwick? Or do you think that he would say, no, we need this, especially today?
I remember on Twitter. Hey, Mark, I remember on Twitter there was that one comment. He was like something. I have a dream. He was recast at last, or whatever. And I literally put in the comment section, I have a dream that one day you T'Challa haters would just admit you hate him and stop bothering us. Just say it. If you don't want the character back, just say it. I don't. What's this business of it's all about respect and respect? You don't connect to T'Challa. I'm not talking about Chadwick. That's the thing you're reacting to when you tell me I'm being disrespectful. You're reacting to Chadwick. I'm talking about T'Challa. You don't connect to T'Challa. Fine. Stop bothering those of us who do.
The first guy that comes out in Avengers Endgame when Captain America needed help, the first guy was him. The importance of this character needs to resume for progression sakes. T'Challa is a distraction of that.
Recast T'Challa. When Jack Kirby was asked a question in 1990, why did he create the Black Panther? He looked around and said, I had nothing but black readers, but not a superhero for them. So what I decided to do is create a character. Hell, my first friend was black. So why couldn't I create a character for him? Something that was anti-stereotype and something that can actually perpetuate or look at the actual black community in a better light, especially in the height of the civil rights movement. So not only is T'Challa important, T'Challa is black history. If it wasn't for T'Challa, there wouldn't be the other characters that you look up to. There would be no Falcon. There would be no Luke Cage. There would be no Blade. There would be no Spawn. There would be no Miles Morales. There would not be any of those characters. So why is T'Challa important? Because he is the king and ruler of Wakanda. And we need to recast that role to show little black boys and little black girls how strong a king could be. Wakanda forever. Let's go. Recast T'Challa.
Well said.
Jarek Bozeman tells TMZ, yes, he does think T'Challa needs to live on in the Black Panther franchise. And if that means tapping another actor to portray the king of Wakanda, the role Chadwick made famous and legendary, then so be it.
But yet we get so many people downplaying this fact.
Well, I think when you do something like that and somebody does point out that Reeve was long done with the role of Superman, then that's going to give them an out, because the analogy you're attempting to say, well, you know, if this had happened, they didn't kill Superman once Christopher Reeve got into his accident or when he died or whatever. Don't use a false equivalency. What Mark said is more than enough about the importance of the character. That's all they need to know. Don't say because so-and-so, like, oh, they didn't. That's all white noise. The main thing is the character is important. That's it. Bottom line. Nothing else. Okay. If you can't get to them through that, then that's their problem, because you're here and you're saying that this character should be around because it's important that kids have a role model such as this character.
Hey, but what about the child? Because the child is a kid himself, so kids can super relate with that one.
Well, I don't know where they're going with that, so I can't comment on that.
Will there ever come a point where you could accept the child?
Nope.
They had put the child in the movie to begin with. It was supposed to be a father and son bonding movie, and they still left him in. I was just appalled when Kevin Feige basically said, we will not recast the role. This is still science fiction. You could have had something where, okay, we're going to have something like a death, but we can still have this character to live on in another form or so. But they want to just say, oh, we're done. That's it. And I'm like, and then, oh, here's a son. Here's a son. Here's a son. You'll like him. You'll really, really like him. And I'm like, this makes no sense. There's so many plot holes in this.
Well,
You want to know a big
So
one?
many plot holes.
You want to know a big one? How is Ramonda in the ancestral plane, but there's no T'Challa?
Is it Black Panther or is it Charm?
When it comes to that little kid, the reason he was probably in the movie was Chadwick Boseman said, you know what? They need to see fatherhood. Go, well, this kid's going to be alive. T'Challa was blipped. It was 5 years, but now here comes. He's back. We're going to show the people fatherhood, make a child so that we can have that imagery on. It's very important. It'll inspire. It may inspire absent fathers to be like, you know, I may have been out of your life for a long time, but here I come 5 years later and we're part of it. That could have been something. He died and they said, no, let's keep the kid inside. What? No, the point of that role, the reason why you have that kid is to have the imagery of fatherhood be perpetuated, not so that you can have absent fatherhood be perpetuated. I don't care if the message was, well, you see, Shuri doesn't have, she's not all alone. She has more family. As positive as that is, when it come at the expense of, is too severe. Like a bastard son is not what we need more of.
That's what we got.
But this is something
That,
that
and
we
I think
accept
it's
as
way too
normal.
early.
Hey, Raptor Cloak with another gem. They didn't kill Paul Walker's character from Fast and Furious in a car crash. So why should T'Challa die from a sickness? Because his actor did. Look how important that is. That movie with Furious 7. So the precedent has been set. There was a catchy song also with See You Again. And I guess they learned that lesson and they got Rihanna to play a song. But they didn't observe the method to move forward is the character doesn't die. The character continues onward. Instead,
No,
they
but Jill,
chose...
this was set before. Harry Potter, Dumbledore. Like
It's a no-brainer.
and people
It's the
argue,
same
and
thing.
people argue with me.
They
And
just
like
slid
people
that on
argue with
in.
me. Like people argue
No.
with me and they'd be like, well, Dumbledore was necessary for the Harry Potter franchise, and they couldn't tell the story without Dumbledore, so they had to recast Dumbledore.
What's amazing, though, about the Paul Walker situation is that during filming, the movie hadn't been... They already filmed all of Paul's scenes. They were doing a lot of post-production. They, in a less amount of time to think, did the right thing. They came out and produced the most respectful thing. All of Paul's family members to this day will celebrate that. We got the best case scenario. And then here, they made an impulse reaction based off of an emotion when they had ample time. They could have even delayed the movie. There was no rush.
Sometimes I
So what
wonder,
do you
know.
legitimately think happened in that meeting between Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler?
I think Ryan Coogler grew up in the same world we did. And the value that he sees in men like Chadwick Boseman has been influenced by the lack of positive representations. Even though he was on a role, he was on a mission to, I guess, uplift, he was still susceptible to what he believed. And he didn't want to do a movie without Chadwick Boseman when it's literally called acting. What your question, Mike, is what do I think happened? Emotions happened. That's all. They were overtook and they came with a stupid idea and they followed through on it, believing they were doing the right thing and honoring. When truly, Chadwick Boseman did not tell you people about his sickness. He didn't. He kept that secret. He told his brother. And what did his brother say? Recast. What do you think happened in the meeting? Is that where you were going to go, Mike? You were going to sometimes people ask a question just so that they can give their take?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who did the talking. I don't know if, Feige deferred to what Ryan wanted. I don't know.
T'Challa really doesn't have much value until we see T'Challa with the son of T'Chaka.
The son of T'Chaka, meaning actual T'Challa. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, why are we doing this?
Why? And don't try to sell me that this is actually T'Challa. I will not be satisfied with that. I'm against it.